Here's the thing. Coaches and administrators don't understand player development. And part of the reason is because we're not clearly communicating it. We're not clearly communicating player development and how it is impacting the program. Now, some of you all have listened to my podcast earlier where I talked about the 4 ways you can communicate your impact clearly, right? And the impact that you can have. This podcast is about communicating what player development can have, right? And the impact it can have overall on a program. And so if you want to check out that podcast episode I did, it's right here in the cloud. But this one right here, we're going to talk about it, how you can clearly communicate the impact that player development can have. So coaches and administrators and boosters and all those people that make the decisions to ensure that you keep your job, that the department gets resources, that all these things happen, understand what's going on. Number 1, there has to be tangible impact. There has to be tangible impact. Okay. You need to talk about what has happened since this coach, this administrator has added player development to the program. What is the tangible impact? Where can they see the impact? Where can they feel the impact? How can they know about the impact? Tell them the tangible impact. I'm going to talk about how you can do it later in these next 2 bullet points, right? But you have to always think about the tangible, right? We love the intangibles, and the player development role is very qualitative. So a lot of the stuff we do, the mentoring we do is on the inside, but you got to find a way to get to those tangible impacts. Number 2, one way you get to it is quantitative numbers. Quantitative numbers. Find the number in the program. Find the number in the program. How many players showed up? Well, coach, only 30 players showed up out of 120. Awesome. Break it down by class. Or is that 30 sophomores? Or break it down by GPA. Get with academics. How many of these guys are on the honor roll? How many of these guys are on the fence? Find a number. Find a number. If it's the player number or the percentage, pick whichever one's higher. Right? So when I was at Baylor University, I was responsible for class checking. And I was just like, you know what? This sucks. I'm gonna be honest, right? But what I realized after I was let go, I had to work on my resume, and I thought about it, and I did some deep math, some really deep math. I told my 11th grade teacher I'd never do. And I found out that I helped decrease class absences by 58%. By 58%, right? That's a quantitative number. When I put my resume on a coach's desk, they can see that. 58% decrease, right? And guys missing class? You handle that? You did that? You keeping that off my plate? So these guys go to class, which means the GPA has to go up, which happened at Baylor, right? Which means my coaches don't have to worry about chasing them around, which means my coaches can recruit and coach. Boom, find a number. Because now the coach says, oh, this is important. What your department is doing important. If y'all cut it down by 58%, how can we get to 60? How can we get to 70? How can I help you? Right? Now you got a coach who's fully invested because you found numbers. All right. Here's another one I use. Right here. When I was at Kansas, designed and completed 68 programs that focused on personal wellness, community impact, and career development. 68 programs. You go to athletic director, you go to coach, said, hey, coach, over these 2 years I've been here, we've created 68 programs. Excuse me? That focus on these 3 areas. So we've done 68 programs that were strategically built out to impact your athletes. So now that coach can use that in recruiting. Hey, our player development department, your son's gonna be okay because our player development department did 68 programs in the last 2 years. We're giving them more resources. We're giving them somebody else. We're hiring somebody else. So they're gonna double that. So your son is gonna make sure in those 2 years, 68, but 24, what's that? 4 a month, 2 a month, 3 a month, 2 a month. Y'all know the math, right? A coach would say, hey, for as long as he's here, he's gonna get 3 programs a month. Give them that, right? Give them the quantitative numbers. This is the last one I'll use at the University of Houston. Implemented the Houston Football Career Summit, in which 33 companies attended the event. 33 companies attended the event. So if I'm a coach 33 companies showed up. I got 120 players on my team. That means that 4 players got the attention of one company, at least. Right? Not a coach saying, hold on, you got 33 at one event? Well, what if we broke it down? I know some people. What if we connect some people? What if we can break it down to where we go from 33 to 60 companies, so every player gets every company gets at least 2 players, so we can span out the time and make it happen. I need to tell this mom this, right? Use quantitative numbers, all right? And then the last thing you can do to show the overall impact of player development is to storytell. Tell stories. People love stories. For you all who don't know who I am, my name is Ed Jones. I'm the founder of Beyond the Field, where we develop people and elevate programs. I was in player development for 6 years in a row at the University of Houston, University of Kansas, and Baylor University. I transitioned from there, and now the last 4 years, I have been able to help people like yourself create a player development foundation through content, courses, and consulting and coaching, right? And so I've been able to help people with Beyond the Field, where I'm at now, and I'm able to help people like you. People want to hear that story, right? I told my life story, boom, it's right there, right? But tell a story what player development is doing. Hey, Coach, I want to tell you a story about Oppie Man. Hey, Coach, Oppie, you know he has a great personality, gregarious personality. I wanted to get him out in the community. Coach, he never wanted to come, Coach. I tried to get him out there, Coach. But he came one time in January. He came to a football event at elementary. He loved it. It was a football camp. He was going around. We got pictures of him with the kids. The principal said he did a great job, Coach. And Coach, he went to a couple more events. And what's crazy, Coach, is when COVID hit, he went back to his community, Coach. He went back to his community and he ran camps, weekly camps with kids in the community, keep them active during COVID. Coach, this was a guy who didn't even want to go to community impact events. And now he's holding that, Coach. And Coach, guess what? He's going to be one of our nominees for the Danny Warfel Award, which is the highest award for community service in college football. Coach, I appreciate you so much for giving me the opportunity to make that happen for you. This guy, once again, did not want to go to community impact or community service events. Went to one event in January that changed his life. And Coach, now he's on our Warfel Trophy list. Let's go 4 years later. Hey, Coach, you remember that story I told you about Oppie? Coach, he's a coach now, Coach. He's coaching at San Mateo, Coach. They just won a national championship. Every time, Coach, I'm so proud of him. He's still impacting lives. Tell the story. Tell the story. Be a storyteller. You can tell them in person. You can tell them through your content, as I talked about in that episode that says why your player development message matters more than ever. Tell the story. Use content. Get on LinkedIn. Talk about the players that are there. Talk about the players you used to have. Shout out to your other players. Talk about the impact. Right? Tell stories. People remember stories. Coaches are some of the best storytellers ever. Right? Now imagine that coach taking that story. Man, I had this guy. He never do community service. I'm so proud of him, man. He just won a national championship. Boom. Coach will tell that story to a kid. If a mom says, hey, I want to get my son in the community, we just don't know how to get him out there. Hey, we got this guy. Come on, I want you to talk to Ed, because Ed, we had a player named Oppie, and Oppie was the same way. So Ed, can you talk to his mom about helping it, blah, 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 right? Tell the story. It's just very important, you all. I'm very passionate because you all, if you saw the last episode, there was a point where we did some stats and we found out that only 23% of people in college football player development have posted something that they've done in a role. Out of 158 professionals, 23% have posted something about what they've done in a role. And that is a low number. And coaches and athletic directors and the people who make the decisions will not know what player development can do if we don't tell them. So give the tangible impact, use quantitative numbers, and tell the story. Y'all, I care about y'all. I really do. And I see that a lot of y'all are being removed, and I see that they're not creating positions for those students I spend time with, those professionals I spend time with who care about athletes and who can make a great impact. So I want you, we need you, I need you to let your coaches and your athletic directors understand the impact that is made through player development. As I always say, go out and create generational impact. Don't wait, create that generational impact today and let them know about the impact that you create.